People are buying property up to 90% below market value at these 3 tax deed states. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 of my favorite states to buy some dirt cheap tax deed property or government seized property that are coming up at these auctions. This is an amazing way for you to get into real estate, flip some of these properties and make some money. For example, if you were to buy a house for $5,000 that could be 50 or 100 grand, obviously that can change your life and have a massive impact on your future, on your family, and create residual income. The biggest challenge though is the average person has no idea what tax liens and deeds are, and B, where to go and find these. So in today's video, I want to show you where kind of my 3 favorite spots for dirt cheap tax deeds and how you can go about starting to buy these properties and why it is such a good investment. So just to clarify, as we get into this, there are 2 types of investments in the US. There's tax liens and tax deeds. Today, we're gonna focus on tax deeds, sometimes known as like government properties, government auctions, sheriff sales. Regardless, in a tax deed state, what happens is if the homeowner doesn't pay their property taxes, the property gets auctioned off and the opening bid is the back taxes owed. And this is an amazing way to get some really cheap property that you can make a lot of money on. The problem, like I mentioned, most people don't know where to go and how to do it. And that's what this channel is dedicated to doing, is helping you get into real estate through these tax liens and deeds. Many people watch this channel and buy property sometimes for as little as 50 or 100 bucks, which is awesome. The big thing is you need to take action. And so obviously coming in are the number 3 place that I like, and we'll work down to number 1. And I've made videos like this before. I really like Pennsylvania for buying dirt cheap tax deeds. Pennsylvania does online auctions, and one of the things that I like is they do auctions there every single month. Now, they have investor-friendly laws in Pennsylvania, and from there you get a clear title that transfers after the auction, which is great. And the cool thing about tax deed investing is it wipes out the mortgages. Now, Pennsylvania can have a variety of different types of auctions. They can also have repository sales, where these are also known as over-the-counters, where you can go and buy these things. And it is a really good spot. Now, one of our favorite places, we just went to the Philadelphia tax deed auction. And here's what I like about the Philadelphia auction is what they do is they ask for just 10% down as a deposit, and you have, I think it's about 30 days to pay the rest. But the cool thing about Philly is if you win the bid, you can actually assign your bid to somebody else, and it's the closest thing to wholesaling in tax liens and deeds. So that's one of the things we like a lot. Now, Philly's cool because they do auctions every single month. The other way to go about this for really cheap things is to focus on some of the smaller counties where there's less competition. For example, Cameron County or Sullivan County in Pennsylvania. It's smaller populations, but a lot of the times the smaller counties can have a lot more opportunity. Well, it's a bit of a dichotomy, right? There's more opportunity because there's less people there. The big thing to keep in mind with tax lien and deed investing is I can't promise you're going to get a home run at your first deal, at your first auction. Now, it does happen. For myself, my very first auction that I went to, I got 40 acres of land for 4,200 bucks, and it was worth 40 grand, and I sold it for 20 grand, made 15,000 bucks, which was very, very cool. Some of you might get something at your first auction. Others say you have to go to 2 or 3 auctions or 5 auctions. But you can get amazing life-changing deals if you stick to this stuff. That is the key thing. There's been times where we've went to 6, 7 auctions. We haven't got a property. However, on the 7th or 8th auction, we've got 7 or 8 properties. So it makes up. The big thing is to be sticking with this is super, super important. Now, it's Dustin Hahn here. This channel is dedicated to helping the average person or somebody who wants to, get their money working for them, buy some properties for 5, 10 grand, flip them, and get into real estate. This is an amazing way to make money in real estate. So if you like this stuff, do us a favor. You can thumbs up, subscribe, and for anybody that tunes in, we always give away a free book and free crash course, which is the ABCs of Tax Liens and Deeds. And this is all below, totally for free in the description, along with the directory if you want to be calling these counties. The phone number's there. Once again, it's free in the description if you want a little extra help to get started. So from here, number 2 is Georgia tax deeds. Now, Georgia is a great place for tax deed investing. The other thing we like about Georgia is the fact that they do auctions there every single month. Now, Georgia is a hybrid state, which means there is a 1-year redemption period there. And if they redeem you during that 1 year, it is a 20% interest to you, which is very, very cool. So Florida has about 159 counties, and it has a lot of opportunity to make money in tax deeds. In fact, one of the first auctions I went to was in Macon County, Macon County, Georgia, way back in the day. And man, it was hot. The cicadas were going crazy. We had some peach ice cream, which was very cool. And the fun thing about these auctions is if you travel to an auction, it's a tax deductible trip. And Georgia can be really good. Now, some of the top counties are Fullerton County, which is Atlanta. There's lots of tax deeds there. There's Gwinnett County, and then some of the smaller counties as well to look at. You know, you can go on Google and sort these out. And basically, you know, small counties like, how do you say it here? Quitman County, just a couple thousand people. They might not have a lot of properties, but there'll be a lot less competition. So Florida is a really great place. They also have repository sales, which is basically an over-the-counter auction property that you can go out and buy. So I definitely recommend Florida as well. In fact, one of our students flies from California to Florida every single month and has basically been scooping up dirt cheap properties. So it's that worth it to him to fly from California to Georgia to buy these. So if you're watching this, and you know, the cool thing these days is you can buy a lot of these online, which is awesome. However, we do both. We do online sales and we travel. Now, one of the places that we travel, coming in at number 1, which you guys probably, if you've watched the channel, know is one of our favorite spots, that's going to be Texas. Texas is a powerhouse in tax deed investing. They have the most counties, coming in at 254 counties, and they have auctions every single month, which is great. Now, the cool thing, Texas is also a hybrid state, which means you have a 6-month redemption period, and if they redeem you in those 6 months, you get a 25% interest. However, the key thing to note is the fact that most of the time you're going to end up with the property, which is great. Now, when you win the bid, if it's vacant, you can be renting it out. If there's a renter in it, you can start collecting rent. The big thing is you just can't sell it for 6 months, which is, you know, totally fine, and just be prepared for that going into it. The top counties in Houston are obviously Harris County, which is where we often go, and I've ran into probably many of you guys there at the auction as well, and I've heard tons of stories of people like, hey, you know, I got the book, I called, and from your YouTube and from the book, I've scooped up many properties. So once again, the book is in the description. Grab a copy of it. This is the #1 book on tax liens and deeds, and it's totally free as my gift for you for watching. So Harris is great. Now, the thing about Harris County that's a little bit wild is the fact that they have 8 precincts and there are 8 auctions going at the same time. So if you're going to go to Harris and you're going by yourself, just focus on 2 precincts, because if you go to all of them, you're going to be all over the place like a chicken with its head cut off. And when we go, we have a team with us and we have a person in each precinct, so be aware of that. However, most places will be doing, you know, just one auction, one precinct type thing, so you don't have to worry about that. Fort Worth is also a good place. And, you know, Texas literally has counties like Loving County with a population of like 64 people. Now, I doubt they have a tax sale, but you could check into it. And remember, starting with the smaller counties is a great way to kind of carve out your niche. But also Texas, because there's so much opportunity there. If you live in the area, you know, go there every month. You know, I ran into Kevin, one of the guys who watches our videos, and basically he works night shift. He's a nurse, and he just goes after work, and in like 6 months he bought, I think it's $800,000 worth of property for about $100,000, which is very, very cool. Now, the thing I love about tax deed investing and obviously tax liens is you don't need a whole lot of capital to get started. So there's a starting point for everybody. You know, if you have $50, there's cheap property. If you have $5,000, there's great property there as well. If you have $500,000, there's amazing property. In fact, one of our students bought it was a tax lien for $500,000 on a $9 million property. They're getting their interest rate and planning on foreclosing, which is awesome. So my point is to get started, take some action. If you like this stuff, hit thumbs up on the video. Subscribe. Many people who watch aren't subscribed, and then sometimes we just talk to another person. They're like, went to a sale, they bought the wrong property, and they weren't subscribed. So you can learn how to avoid the mistakes as well. And once again, my final word here, get the book. It's in the description. We have the full crash course, mini course for you with all of the contact information, so you can just call them up. And from there, if you want some help, we can take you by the hand, work with you one-on-one, and help you do it. So rather than sell this stuff, I give it away, and my agenda is every month I work with a few people one-on-one, show them how to get some property within the next 30 days up to 90% below market value. So there's a link below there. You can book a free call and we can help you get some of these deals, personalized instruction from an expert. So once again, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.